Hello everyone, it's Chris Johnson from Team Johnson Real Estate coming to you once again, and this is the Real Estate Minute. Now, in typical fashion, I usually sit here in my normal clothes, but you know what? Because it's Halloween tomorrow, I just don't feel it's right that I sit here and not be dressed up for the occasion. Anyway, stay tuned, I'll be right back. Okay, so I am all dressed, well, partly dressed, for Halloween. Can you guess what the theme is we have this year for our annual family Halloween theme? No? I'm not much of a singer. I'm going to give you one line. Maybe it'll give you an idea. A tale as old as time. Still can't get it? Alright, maybe this will help. How about some of these babies? Well, hopefully that's enough for you to figure it out. Anyways, on this week's Real Estate Minute, I want to go over a couple things. The first thing is the new regulations that are coming into effect as of January 1st that have been implemented by OSFI. Now, who is OSFI? OSFI is the Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions. And what they do is they supervise and regulate banks, insurers, trusts, and loan companies, as well as private pension plans. And I just wanted to go over actually some points on how it's going to affect consumers or borrowers, more or less, come January 1st, okay? So stay tuned, and I'll be right back to point out some of those points. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to get into the points that I wanted to bring up based on the new rules coming into effect January 1st. The first is you want to look at it kind of like a 2-point rate hike. Uninsured borrowers can qualify for a mortgage rate today, 5-year fixed at, say 2.97. I'm going to use that as an example. In a few months, that hurdle will obviously soar to almost possibly 5%. If you are affected by this, you could need upward towards of 20% down, or 20% more income, should I say, to get the same old bank mortgage that you could get as of today. They're not sure how many borrowers this might affect, but they're saying at least 1 in 6 uninsured borrowers could feel that impact based on the Bank of Canada's estimates. Many borrowers will, that could force many borrowers to defer buying, pay higher rates, find a co-borrower, and or put more money down to qualify for that mortgage. So why did OSFI do it? They wanted to force people to prove that they could afford the much higher rates. This in turn would substantially increase the quality of the buyers at Canada's banks. Next point is you will see a possible leap in non-prime borrowing costs. So what that means is many home buyers with above average debt relative to what they're making will need to resort to higher cost lenders who will allow more flexible debt ratio limits, meaning at the very least that more people will choose longer amortization, so going from 25 to 30 years and taking longer to pay that mortgage down. That could in turn force hundreds of thousands of borrowers into the arms of these lenders with those high rates. If you have a higher debt load, weak credit, and or less provable income, they're saying you're going to have to basically get ready to pay the piper. Next point refers to what they're calling as trappreneurs. And lenders will be happy at this because basically it affects customer retention. So as many as 1 in 6 people renewing their mortgage could be trapped at their existing bank because they can't pass the stress test at another lender. So if that happens, the bank knows that you can't do this, and they will probably leverage that to their ability and serve up what they're calling, could be subpar renewal rates. I do see, because of these rules, a short-term spurt. So what I mean by that is I expect to see a rush of buying in the near term from people who fear that they won't qualify come or after January 1st. The question is how much of that short-term demand will be offset by people selling as a result of that. With that being said, borrowers will likely adapt, within 2 to 5 years, and prices will ultimately resume higher. Now, these are just a few points that I wanted to make regarding the changes. But if you have any questions at all, I do work closely with two great brokers, Colin and Cindy Mason from the Mortgage Domain, and I would be happy to connect you with them. So on another note, I do have a great listing coming out this week. Hopefully by Thursday. I'm going to be doing a photo shoot later today, not dressed like this, as much as I'd like to go like this. Have to be a little bit professional. It is a bungalow in the Morningside and Nielsen area. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. It has a separate entrance. It has a finished basement. It's a 45 by 149 lot in a great area. It's close to the Scarborough U of T campus, close to the Metro Toronto Zoo, TTC accessible. Great area. If you have any questions about this, look out for it coming up. I'm going to be posting it later this week once all the photos and videos are done. And it's Chris Johnson from Team Johnson Real Estate signing off. If you have any questions about this segment at all, give me a call, 416-419-5748. Email me at cgrantjohnston@gmail.com. And check out the website, www.cgrantjohnston.com. And until next time, this is The Beast, a tale as old as time. Signing off until next time. Have a great and safe Halloween. Cheers.